Because the cod season is approaching, I thought it might be nice to show you a couple of rigs you can use to target them. Now, if you've fished forever, you've seen these rigs, you know what they are. So this video is really for people who are just starting out and they don't really know what the rigs are. So people will say pulley pennels, up and over pulleys, just up and overs, 2-hook flappers, 1 up, 1 downs, and they won't have a clue what's going on. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of my rigs. So we've got 4 to show you, which you can use to target the cod and various other species, and also a little cheeky secret bait, which I'm going to show you at the very end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned. So this is an up and over pulley, and it's a clip down castable rig. The reason you want it clipped down is because you can see where your hooks are there. That's going to have a nice big fat juicy bait on it, and all that weight is going to be here and in line with your lead, so when you cast it out, it's going to go all streamlined and you can get that distance. That is why you clip down. So this one, why I like it so much, everyone knows cod feed on the bottom. That's what they do. They feed on the bottom. They're called the pigs of the sea, and they just hoover all the stuff off the bottom. So this rig is designed to sit perfectly on the bottom, but when the fish takes the bait, they haven't got much resistance. This is called a Gemini splashdown. There's many different types of clip downs. I've got a few with me today, which I'm going to show you. But as that hits the water, bump, it'll release, and you can see what it's just done there. This is going to attach to your swivel on your main line or your shock leader, and as that settles in the water, that is going to sit down and act as your anchor. So your main line will be attached like this, so it's going to look pretty much like this in the water, which means that our snood is going to be sitting perfectly on that seabed, just bouncing away. Now, why this rig is so good is because as that fish takes it, it's going to run freely, and then as them beads hit that clip there, bump, it's going to hook them up. So you've got a cheeky little genie clip there, you've got 2 normal black beads, you've got a pulley bead with a lead clip and a Gemini splashdown with another 2 beads there, you've got a swivel, and then you've got your hooks. Now this is pennelled up, so what a pennel means is it's got a sliding hook which you can set into the position where you want it. So if you're using a bait this big, you can set your hook there. If you're using a bait this big, you can set your hook there. And the whole idea of this is if the fish takes the bottom of the bait, it's going to be hooked up. If the fish takes the top of the bait, it's going to be hooked up. Our next one is just a straight up and over. So this again has the same principle as our up and over pulley, but it's a fixed rig. So what that means is when that lead locks into the ground, this is pinned to the bottom, and when that fish takes it, it's got nothing. It's going to bump, hook itself straight up. So this is another rig, I'd say my second favourite rig that I will use. And how this works is pretty much exactly the same, but you'll notice that I've used a little genie clip on the bottom and a genie clip on the top. Again, because it's super cheap and it works an absolute treat. All your bait there, cast out, hits the water, bump, and it releases. This is attached to your main line, and your rig is going to sit like this in the water. Absolutely beautiful. I love this rig, absolutely love it. Components that you're going to need for this rig is a little genie clip on the top, a little genie clip on the bottom. Now I've used a match sleeve swivel there, but you could use crimp, bead, swivel, bead, crimp. And what you do is as you're making this, because it's a fixed rig, you need to have your lead attached before you crimp it. You need to get it all in position like so, and then ideally you want to hang that off something. You want to get your crimps and you want to pull that nice and tight and crimp it so it's all nice and tight and it's all in. If you crimp this and then try and tie that snood to the exact length you're going to do it, you're going to really struggle. Now I imagine a lot of people have done that. I've done it in the past when I very first started many moons ago, and there you go. Super simple, super easy, super cheap. Again, the most expensive part of this rig is the hooks, but well, you can say the lead, but we wouldn't be using this. We'll be using a cheap gripper lead or an SKM, but my mate Liam does them super cheap for me, so it doesn't really bother me. Right, so rig number 3, the old faithful, everybody knows what this is. This is called a pulley pennel. Now I don't like using this rig when I'm high up, and the reason being is, look, I'll just release the trident splash down there. Your main line is attached to the pulley bead and your lead's in the seabed, and look what your snood's doing. If you imagine that tide blowing, it's up and it's off the seabed. I'm not saying it doesn't work, I'm just saying I prefer not to use this rig high up. If I'm low down on the beach, yeah, 100%, because when you're on the beach, it'll be sat like that. Well, sat like that. So what we've got on this, we've got a pulley bead, and you'll notice that I've got 1, 2, 3 beads there next to me clip. I've got a soft bead, which is going to protect me knot. And the reason that I've got 3 beads there, if you watch, as that is pulling, see, it acts like a little boom, and it holds your snood off the lead. So as that's coming in through the water, you've got your fish, it's going to hold it off your lead for you, and it's going to stop it tangling. On the other side of this, we've got a nice soft bead just to protect the knot this side. So this is a Trident splashdown. It's a little bit different than the one I showed you before. The one I showed you before is a Gemini splashdown. This is a Trident splashdown, and the clip I showed you before is a Genie clip. They can all be used to clip down your rig, and there is others out there. You've got imps, and you've got others that I can't even think of the name of, but you have got loads of different types. But these Trident splashdowns are really good. The Gemini splashdowns are really good. To be fair, the imps are really good as well. But the difference between these and the imps and the splashdowns and the imps, you can actually fix your hook and your bait in position. One little thing that I've done differently on this, instead of attaching the swivel straight to the line, what I've done is I've put a little clip. So you can make yourself a couple of these in case you snap off, and then you can make yourself a load of snood, separate snood, so you can pre-bait them up. When you get a fish on, you can unclip it, throw it to the side, clip your new bait on, clip it down, and cast it out. So just having that removable snood actually makes this much easier. On last rig, I thought I'd throw this in. This isn't specifically a cod rig. This is a scratching rig. This is a catch anything that's out there that anything wants to bite rig. The amount of times people have messaged me and said, I go fishing 7, 8 times, 9 times. I'm on my 10th time now and I'm blanking. I can't catch a fish to save me life. And I ask them, I say, what size hooks are you using? What rigs are you using? And they'll send me a picture of the rigs, and there'll be massive pulleys, big massive hooks on there, flappers with size 4.0, 5.0s on, and they're wondering why they're not catching. So I always say to them, fish small, catch them all. So this particular rig is a 1 below, 2 above the lead. Now I won't usually fish 3 hooks on the Mersey. I'm using 3 hooks here because I've been fishing a few matches in Wales and it's 3 hooks in Wales. So we'll just imagine that this hasn't got a 3rd hook on the top. So you can see the distance between my snoods, you can see my snood lengths, and all it is a lead clip, and then a crimp, a bead, a swivel, a bead, and a crimp, and that's crimped right on where your lead's going to go. So that's going to sit on the bottom, that's sitting on your seabed. The next one up is sitting about 12 inches off the seabed, so you're fishing 2 parts of the water table. If you wanted to add the extra hook in like we've done, again, same distance, and now you're fishing 3 parts of the water table. If you want to make a 25 hook flapper like one of the lads did as a laugh, it's the same process. It's super, super easy. If you wanted to make this into a 2 hook flapper, you just wouldn't have that bottom snood on there, and now you've got the 2 hooks. Now the rule of thumb with this rig, when you're making this rig, you can have any hook size you want on it. Literally, whatever you're fishing for, you can have it on. Like I say, I've got size 4 bait holder hooks on this. Super sharp, super tiny, and also super strong in case I hook into something big. What you want to make sure is your snood is not longer than your crimp and your bead at the top here. Because what will happen is, if it is longer, it's going to tandle around and you'll end up tandling all your rig. Another thing, when you cast this out, it's going to cast out, it's going to land like this, bump. Couple of turns just to lock it in so it's all in position. But that rig, absolutely bulletproof. You will catch fish on that rig, and if you are struggling to catch fish, make this rig, go out and then put it in the comment section below if you've caught. Be massively, massively appreciated. Little tiny bit of black lug on there, tip with a bit of squid. You're laughing, you're going to catch. Right, let's get down to our secret cod bait. So our super cod bait, it's mussel, super simple, super easy to collect off the beach, not so easy to take the meat out, but I promise you, if you can't get hold of your crab and your carp, mussel's the one, mussel's the one. So how do we get it out? We use a knife, preferably a blunt knife so you don't hurt yourself. This one's a little bit sharper than I should be using. And what you do is you just stab it into the side like this, and then see all that juice coming out. And then what you want to do is, it's got a couple of points where it's held onto the shell. You just want to scrape that knife round. There we go. And you're cutting through the joints all the way round. Bosh. There we go. There's our lovely mussel meat. And then the same thing again. Take your blade, run it along, just release the tendon there where it's attached, all the way around, and bosh, there you go. You've got some lovely, lovely mussel meat. Now all you'd have to do, bang them on a bait needle, elasticate them up, and you can prep these before you go out. Put 3 or 4 together, bandage them up, and then bang them straight in the freezer. Or if you're going to use them as a tip. Now today I wasn't planning on fishing, I'm just making these videos, but I don't want to let this go to waste. So what we're going to do now is we're going to prep a peeler crab and a softie, and we're going to do peeler crab, softie and a bit of mussel. Bang it out, wait till the end of the video and see if anything happens. Right, let's get this on the hook. Everybody knows peeler crab is the one. If you can get all the peeler crab, fantastic. Couple of black lug up the top and then tip it with peeler crab. How you prep a peeler crab, again, this is a question I get asked a lot. So this is how I do it. A lot of people do it differently. How you know it's ready to go on the hook, you can see there, that's just protecting its lungs there. So if that's nice and soft, you know it's ready. So all we do is we take its legs off, pop them to one side. They're going to go on our little size 4s. For our smaller species, pop the sides in, bosh, take off its shell, and then just peel all that shell off so it's nice and soft. We're going to cut that in half and get our bait elastic, and we're going to build it up. So on the cut side of the crab, I like to put it on the shank. So we'll work this round. There, we get the cut half on that one there. We're going to build this bait up, by the way. I haven't brought any worm with me because I wasn't planning on fishing. So we're just going to get this bait out, just do one cast and see if anything can happen. So there we go. There's our peeler. He's on beautifully. And then we're going to get one I prepared earlier. So this is a softie. So a softie is a crab that has shed out of its shell, and it's now going through its stage of hardening. Now, a lot of people will leave the legs on, a lot of people will take the legs off, but I'm just going to wind them up. They can go in the pennel, not an issue. There we go. We'll get that down there. There we go. So we've got some beautiful, beautiful crab on there. That's absolutely perfect. See that barb sticking right out. And then our mussel, we're just going to peel that out the shell. There we go. And we're just going to plant that right next to the crab. Get our bait elastic and whiz that round. That is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful bait. The only thing that would make that better for the cod would be a couple of black lug. Oh, look at that for a bait. And then we're going to get our pennel, slide that down. I'm going to wrap that round 3 or 4 times and then take it through the bait there, and bosh. There's an absolutely beautifully prepared bait. That is a cod bait all day long, that, isn't it? That's great, that. So we'll get this on now. We'll give it one little cast. We're using our up and over pulley here now at this mark. Let's get this bad boy out. So we'll clip it over. We're going to lock it in. There we go, absolutely beautiful. Clip down, ready to go, up and over pulley, size 5.0 crab hooks. See if there's any cod about. So the hooks have decided to put on my cod rigs a size 5.0 crab hooks. Now, I love them because they're not overly massive, but they're solid. They've got a nice offset barb, super, super sharp. You wouldn't want to get that in your finger. And if you get a cod on that, it's 100% coming in. But one downside is, if you get it into a snag, you're definitely losing your gear. So there is pros and cons to both. But like I say, we didn't want to waste our bait, our special mussel bait. So hopefully we'll get a nice little fish just to end this little rig making video. Like I say, guys, if you have got any questions about any of these rigs that I've shown you today, don't feel embarrassed or shy to put it in the comment section. If you don't know something, you don't know it, and there's no harm in asking. This is what I use. It works for me. It might work differently for other people. Other people might have different rigs they prefer. They might have better rigs. That's how it is. But this is the rigs I use, and I just wanted to pass that down to you. And like I say, it's mainly for people who are just starting out and they don't really know what they're doing. So if this has helped you, don't forget to drop us a little sub as well. It'd be massively appreciated. Totally free to do. So we're going to give this 15 minutes max, because I've got so much to do today. Literally, I shouldn't even be fishing. If my wife finds out, I'm going to go a little clip around the back of the ear. I am. So 15 minutes, we'll give it a go. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't happen, well, I'll see you next week. The main thing that you need to focus on is your rigs and your bait. That's it. Everything else is immaterial to an extent. So rigs and bait,